Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Think Tank Thursday. I'm Denise Killian with Trainertainment in the Growth Pro Group, and I'm thrilled that you're joining us this week. Before we get started, I'd love to take a moment to thank our 2025 digital sponsors. We appreciate their support, which helps us offer you new episodes of Think Tank Thursday each and every week. Well, today I want to introduce you to someone who has just started their sales journey and absolutely made an extraordinary success of their very first year in a sales role. As you know, starting off can be really challenging, and so I wanted to talk to Esther Nobels with Oviedo Bowling Center to find out what she's learned and how she's made her very first year in sales such a tremendous success. So let's get started. Esther, thank you so much for joining us for Think Tank Thursday.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Well, we couldn't be more thrilled to have you here, and I'm excited to share your story with everyone. You have such a great story that I think is so inspirational. So before we get started, Esther, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Of course. So my name is Esther, of course. I'm the sales manager at Oviedo Bowling Center. But more importantly, I'm a wife and a mother. I have two kiddos. They're 4 and almost 6. She's still 5. I can hardly believe it. I'm not native to Florida, so I'm currently in Oviedo, Florida, but I actually grew up overseas in Okinawa, Japan, on a U.S. military base. And my husband is from Belgium, born and raised, who speaks French. So we're a very international family, and we love it here in our little Oviedo, Florida.
Well, I love that. And you've been at this bowling center for how long?
I started January of last year, 2024.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, in about a year and a half, when you came in to the position, did you have any sales experience?
I was a waitress before I became the sales manager here. And I do say that that's sales experience, but it's up to the individual how you're going to sell to your table, doing it in a very different way. But this is absolutely my first time as a sales manager. I've never had that official title before.
So, when you started,
Mhm.
what did you know? And as you mentioned, being a waitress is absolutely a salesperson. I
Mhm.
advocate that any position that you're in our daily lives, we're salespeople. We're either selling ourselves, we're selling a product, we're selling a service, but it's different than being a salesperson who is responsible for booking
Mhm.
these events. So when you
Exactly.
walked into the position, what did you know about sales?
Uh, Well, what I knew about sales was, it's all about people. It's about problem solving. It's about serving. It's about how can I help you with the services that I have. And I just feel like that's kind of my perspective on life in general, for friendships, for marriage, for being a mom. You come in with a mentality of what can I do to serve you to make your day better? And that transitions into sales, automatically. That's like the foundation of sales, in my opinion. As far as sales at a bowling zero, ground zero, I had no idea what to do. My first time working at a bowling alley, I didn't know any of the terminology. I knew nothing about leagues. I had no ground zero is where I would say I was at.
So, what I love is that you tapped into exactly what it is that makes people successful in sales. That it's about how can I help someone else?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about, okay, I have this thing, I'm going to force it on you. It's how can I help you? And that
Absolutely.
mindset is so, so important.
Mm-hmm.
So, you come walking in to the center. And with like, I don't know what a strike is. I don't know what a split is. I don't know nothing about this, right?
It's so bad. My bowling average was like 60.
Not bad, not bad. Listen, I think mine might be like 95. I don't know. Right.
Bad.
I'm not very good bowler either, but it is something that, you have to learn about the culture of what you're
Yes.
doing. How
Yeah.
did you go about learning about the culture of bowling and events at bowling centers?
Well, I have two wonderful bosses. One of my bosses, Kurt Van Zyl, he wanted to own a center since he was 2 years old. So his whole life has been like within bowling, working at bowling centers, managing them. So I really had that privilege to learn a lot about bowling through him and through his passion. And he kind of shared a little bit of culture by like introducing me to some of our regulars and, just walking around the center. And I should also mention that we are also the home of the Pinball Lounge, which it's its own separate little business within the bowling center. And that's actually how Oviedo Bowling Center started, was the owners bought the Pinball Lounge bar area in the bowling alley. And then after 5 years of success there, they took over the whole thing. So also just learning pinball culture, which I was even more ignorant about. So learning from my other owner, Ed, or my other boss, he shared a lot of the passion about pinball and pinball culture, and that was really neat.
All right, so you're learning all of this new stuff. It's like a new language.
The
Uh,
new language, totally.
right? You've got English, your husband speaks French, and now you've got bowling as a language, right? Uh,
Yeah, still learning.
so additionally, and full transparency, you had the opportunity, your center hired to entertainment, and we worked with you guys. You worked with Genevieve
Yes,
Sullivan, one of our fabulous and amazing coaches.
life-changing experience working with Genevieve. She is top of the line.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. So I want to talk about the importance of training, the importance of learning, right? Um,
Yes.
Tell me, how did that help you?
Genevieve really simplified a lot of things because being new in a position and a person like me, I'm just like everywhere of like, oh my goodness, where do I start? What do I do? And she really put things into perspective, prioritizing things, getting me organized and set up right away. Really putting the emphasis on numbers, telling a story, and being able to help you on track in a lot of ways, which was great because I am not a numbers person. Math was by far the worst subject that I had in school. I do not have a great relationship with numbers. I'm also a little bit dyslexic, so I switch numbers around sometimes. So having her come in and show me the strength of getting your numbers in order, of getting that into your habits, that really, really helped me a lot. So,
And sales is a numbers game, right?
yes.
We know that you've got to make a certain number of calls in
Mm-hmm.
order to get a certain number of meaningful conversations, in order to then get a certain number of closes. And
Yes.
once you're able to pay attention to those actions, you can control your sales.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And she kept going back to like the numbers are telling a story. So if you're doing a certain number over here in a certain industry and you're seeing that it's a much lower return in percentage than over here, then follow the numbers, follow the story. Obviously, you're more successful and you need to pay attention and focus over here more than over here. And that really helped. It was a great measuring tool in a world that I never had been able to measure before. So it's great.
Well, because when you think about okay, we want you to go get businesses to have group events. Okay,
Hmm.
in any given community, there are
Hmm.
thousands of businesses. Where do you start? Who do you talk to? What do you do? It can be overwhelming
Oh,
if
it
you
is.
don't have a focus and a plan.
Exactly. Hmm.
So, what good habits did you pick up from having that sort of focus? What were the habits that you developed?
Yeah, so I definitely start every week with my planner and going through the reservation system of calling all the reservations for the upcoming week, and that's when I make my event forms. And then I kind of organize my days with different tasks to do. So Tuesdays, it's all about like the cold calling and the follow-ups from the week previous. Wednesday is a pretty big emphasis on networking. There's almost always a networking event on a Wednesday. And if there isn't, I actually created my own networking group as well. So I always have that as well. So Wednesday is like a heavy networking day. Thursday is a little bit of like a cleanup day, like what's going on that is not typical. Maybe there is an event going on, like National Bowling Day. That Thursday is kind of the day where I do whatever needs to be done. And then Friday, kind of similar to Thursday, I see what needs to be done. And if everything is already done, then it's more cold calling and it's more following up on warm leads. I have all of these binders. I have three different books of business card organization. And when I don't know who to call, I flip through this and I remember, like, oh, who did I meet at this networking event? I need to follow up with this person. So I've got three of them filled.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's fantastic. And the networking events are something that I think some folks either take for granted or don't use as these opportunities to
Mhm.
be a part of a community, but also to meet people.
Yes.
What have you found in these networking groups?
So I do think it also depends a little bit on what is your city and community atmosphere. Oviedo is extremely relation based. It's a warm culture here. It's all about who you know. You know, cold calling isn't always the most successful in an area like Oviedo because they're tired of it. We're near Orlando. So you kind of get a lot of cold calling and spam calls in the area. But as soon as there's a warm face to face connection, it's like bingo, automatically. They would love to work with you, they want to give you their business. And as soon as names are exchanged, it's a whole new level of relationship. Definitely.
So making that connection is essential, right?
Oh, it's number one here. Mhm.
Hmm. Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about you started with I got nothing, right? I got no idea about the bowling culture. I have no idea about sales. You went from zero to like 10,000 in no time. Your very first year, what were your sales?
So in 1 year, I was able to increase sales by 89% from 111,000 to 209,000 in event sales.
Come on. I mean, what a great success. In a really relatively short amount of time to 89% increase. What do you think was the best thing that you learned in that first year?
That's a really hard question because there are a million things that I learned along the way that helped me a lot. Ooh, I think knowing more who my target clientele was huge, because, immediately I'm like, who loves bowling? Retirement communities love bowling. Moms with young kids love bowling. Schools love bowling. Like, and I just couldn't focus. I was like, everybody loves bowling. Bowling's for everyone. And it was difficult until I like zeroed in and focused, like, okay, that's all great. And we can still reach all those people. But the numbers are telling a story, and they are telling me that my ideal clientele is specifically men and women in the service industry that work with their hands. So, landscapers, roofers, plumbers, electricians. these are my guys and gals who I want to come to the bowling center for team building, for corporate parties, for end of year parties. And like banks, like a lot of them have set up quarterly team building. And so when I realized that, I was like, oh, bingo, that's where the money's at. And this is where I can get people coming in on a consistent basis. So yeah, once I figured that out, and it took me a little while, it took me probably 7 or 8 months to realize this was the hot spot. That changed the game for sure.
Oh, that's so fantastic. And it's all about paying attention to what you're doing too,
Yes.
right? That it's not just, okay, I'm just going to start dialing numbers. I'm just going to start walking into businesses. You're paying attention to the industry specifics, like which businesses am I talking to?
Mm-hmm.
And what is my success rate with each of these businesses? And then finding that niche and let's go.
Yeah. And I will also say that moms are often looked over, especially stay-at-home moms, because I think a lot of people see stay-at-home moms as, okay, well, they don't have a business attached to them. They don't have like, so they're not going to give me business because they're not attached to a business. And that is such a wrong way of thinking. Being a former stay-at-home mom, we know everybody, we talk to everybody, we've got plenty of time to like spend on social media promoting our friends businesses, talking to our husbands, we're volunteering at the school functions, we're volunteering at the Girl Scouts and the sports teams. Like moms are everywhere, and so I have gotten so much business from my personal mom friends, or even friends of a friend of a friend who is a stay-at-home mom. She's like, oh, my husband does that. This and that person, my school can go there. I've gotten so much business from stay-at-home moms. Do not overlook that group. They are the lifeblood of pretty much all the communities.
Well, and you're absolutely right. Number one, they're going to the soccer games and the baseball games and the football games. Guess what? All of those teams should have an end of year party. And why not have
Oh,
them
yeah.
at your location? The
And
Girl
they
Scout
do.
troop, the Boy Scout troop, right? The
Yeah.
school class trip, end of year party for the class. Like, right? Those stay-at-home moms have their fingers in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
guess
sure do.
what? They all want to have an event. Why not have it with you, right?
Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great piece of advice. And even, there's a lot of homeschool communities
Oh, yes.
that they're always looking for something too, right? So those stay-at-home moms have it going on.
Oh, yeah. Immediately, one of the things that I did was started a homeschool bowling league, because I was like, why don't we have this already? This is wild. You're telling me it's so like quiet on a Wednesday afternoon? Homeschoolers, come on, get them in here.
That's,
Exactly.
yeah, that's exactly right. There's so many opportunities there.
Hmm.
And paying attention to who you're talking to, tracking that information, and listening to the story that that's telling.
Oh, absolutely. And I think treating everyone with the same potential is also very important. Um, Specifically for myself, like my own experience, occasionally people will talk to me, and as soon as they feel like, oh, you're not my ideal clientele, I can sense a shift in the way that they're talking to me, or, not giving me attention, or, like they change the way that they address to me in a way that's very adamant of you're not that important to me. And I don't ever talk to anyone like that, even kids. I talk to everyone like a valued customer, individual, and I have no idea where their potential is, what business they'll bring in. All of it is valuable to me. Every person I talk to is valuable to me, and I want to make sure everyone gets that same impression that, you know, a kid talking to me at the center is just as important as a businessman talking to me about his corporate party. Give everyone that value. with
Oh,
that
that's great.
attention.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
Because again, and the heart of who you are is about how can I help someone else?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. Miss Esther,
Hmm.
we are coming to the end of our time here, sadly, but
Oh my
I want to ask you a very important question.
goodness.
We are all about growth here at Tradertainment and the Growth Pro Group.
Hmm.
So, what do you do to grow yourself?
Yes. So there's a couple different things that I try to do for my own personal growth. Uh, for me, I have ADHD, and people with ADHD usually try to latch onto something because of that dopamine deficiency. You know, what gives you a little bit more of a boost for me as an extreme extrovert? That's people. So I definitely make it a priority to socialize at least minimum once a week, like a girls' night, double date, something fun that really impacts me a lot and keeps me in a happy mood. So that's number one, I would say. For personal development, I love to read, whether that's, just leisurely or growth and development. I'm always listening to audiobooks in the car or trying to read something when I go to bed at night. So that's a huge one for me.
So, Miss Esther, if people have questions, how can or want to book an event because you're so amazing, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, you can always email me at enobels@oviedobowlingcenter.com or events@oviedobowlingcenter.com because everyone misspells my last name.
Well, Esther, congratulations on your tremendous success. And
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to see when, next year, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, we did 500,000. We're cool. Uh,
Well, I am on track to increase sales by 159% this year. So actually, no, 179. Sorry, I misspoke.
Well, well, I mean, who can handle 159% increase, right? It needs to be 179. That's just awesome. Congratulations. And excited for your success and continued success. And I think your
Thank
story
you.
is so inspirational. And that you went from never being a salesperson to just killing it.
Oh,
Absolutely
thank
killing it.
you.
So, congratulations. And thank you for being a part of Think Tank Thursday.
Oh, thank you so much. What an honor. So sweet.
Well, I hope that you learned as much as I did from Esther. As you know, starting a sales journey is a complex and challenging beginning. And I just love to celebrate people who are thriving. And Esther is certainly doing that. So I look forward to tracking her continued success. Before we leave, I want to thank our sponsors again for 2025. We couldn't do what we do each and every week if we didn't have their support. If you have a Think Tank Thursday idea, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at denise@trainertainment.net. Well, thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Think Tank Thursday. Remember, the journey to success is all about growth, and here at Trainertainment, we are dedicated to helping you and your company thrive. You can visit trainertainment.net to learn how we can support your growth journey for yourself, your team, and your business by setting up a free growth call with one of our coaches. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for the extraordinary.
Playthrough is an online scoring system for mini golf courses. Simply post a QR code near the first hole. Golfers scan it with any mobile phone, add their golfers, and start entering scores. They can easily view their group leaderboard or the course leaderboards. Playthrough also includes features like hole sponsor logos and hole transition ads to help grow your business. Visit playthroughmini.com to see what else Playthrough can do.